Brian, round two.
All right.
Here we go. The backstory. See, it's nice to always talk about the bright and shiny now and future, right? But a lot of things had to happen to get you here. You probably went through some muck, as they say. You grew up in Hawaii, right?
Mm-hmm.
What island?
Oahu.
Oahu.
Born and raised.
Is that the big one?
It's the main one. It's not the big one.
Oh.
Yeah, the big island's the big one, but Oahu has where all the people are. The vast majority of people and infrastructure are on Oahu.
Oh.
Everything you've heard of, Honolulu, Waikiki, North Shore, all that stuff.
That sounds amazing.
It was.
Your parents, how'd they end up there?
My grandpa built a lot of Oahu. He was in construction. He owned he was a president of a construction company that built a lot of the big things in Hawaii.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So my mom was pretty much born there too. And then my dad came over. He was in marketing. And we just have an old school Hawaii family that's the Howleys. We're the white people, the Howleys.
The Howleys. Oh, is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're out there. You got any brothers or sisters?
Yeah. One of each.
One brother, one sister?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody, your folks, you said they're not around anymore.
So they're a little older. They're both on their second marriages. That's also, I'm single. I'm 41. I'm holding out. I think it's because my parents both got married very young.
Yeah.
And then they had a second marriage. Right. That was very stable and was great. Right. So I'm like, I don't want to make the mistake, have a divorce, have kids, and have like this weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, they are a little bit older, but not old. And they both died of chronic diseases. So my dad was cancer. This started around 10 years ago. That's why I started my journey, right? 10 years ago, I started waking up, and my mom was Alzheimer's. So she got diagnosed even before that. And so they did the right thing, quote, right thing, right? This is why I have a vendetta against the food pyramid.
Yeah.
They were cooking meals from scratch. They were following the guidelines, like I said in the first part. We were eating whole wheat pasta and rice and grains and bread and low-fat products and low-fat dairy and avoiding red meat, right? Doing all the things. And they just gained a pound a year. That's a classic thing. If you look at any standard American, they gained a pound a year. So maybe it starts around 30. By 60, most people are at least 30 pounds overweight.
Dude.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. And then you get on different medications, and even if you're not overweight, you can still have a lot of visceral fat, have a lot of health problems. Yeah. You don't have to be. I'm not saying just because you're overweight, you're sick, or just because you're skinny, you're healthy. It's actually not like that. It's actually more to do with what's going on inside, right? And you can have a lot of visceral fat. So people may not have heard of this. The subcutaneous fat is the fat that you can pinch, like on your belly. But then the visceral fat's inside, in and around your organs, so you can't see it. So you can be kind of skinny fat. People have heard of skinny fat. So India and China have very low BMI, very skinny population, right? In the world, they're on the lowest end of the BMI scale, right? Very thin. Yet they have the most type 2 diabetes in the world. Those two countries have the most type 2 diabetics. So that's to do with visceral fat. Dang. That's to do with they're eating sort of a lot of cheap filler foods. They're eating a lot of just refined grains and seed oils and stuff like that. And they don't have enough quality animal foods and protein and stuff. And so you can develop all this visceral fat slowly, not even know it, and then get the diabetes, get the heart disease, get all these same things. So that's what happened to my parents.
Okay. So you're in Hawaii, brothers. You got a brother and sister. And what was it like going home when you were in elementary school?
So born and raised. So I grew up barefoot.
Yeah.
I grew up barefoot. They made me put on slippers. We call them slippers. I guess people call them like whatever, flip-flops. They made me wear flip-flops at some point, 7th grade. And that was amazing. We would go to the beach. I grew up playing sports. And it was a dream.
All kinds of sports.
Oh yeah, football mainly.
Football? Do you remember any significant events that might have happened in your elementary years? Anything that stands out to you, good, bad, or in between?
Not particularly. Not particularly. I think I had a pretty ideal childhood.
You never got in trouble?
I think I did get in trouble a few times.
What'd you do?
Oh, man. I don't remember any main time. Wow, I don't know what I do. Nothing. I don't think I had any big.
You ever got kicked to the principal's office or anything?
I think
in elementary school.
In elementary school, I think in art class, I drew a naked woman, and I went to the principal's office in 4th grade.
Who taught you how to do that?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that in so long. That just popped into my head. It was just like a nice silhouette, you know. It wasn't even like, it was like a tasteful.
Yeah,
it was
artistic.
Like it was a new drawing. Yeah, I probably saw it in a movie. I'm like, oh, like Titanic. Well, Titanic didn't come out yet. You know what I mean? Like a tasteful nude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Just a nice flowing.
It was just some curves.
Woman.
And I had to go to the principal's. No, I really didn't. My mom was a teacher. She taught at my school, so I couldn't get in trouble. Yeah. So I got in trouble in 4th grade for that. I got in trouble. Senior skip day, we made shirts. This is probably a dumb idea looking back, but senior skip day, it's against the when you're a senior, yeah, we made shirts that say, "Guns don't kill people, seniors kill people."
Oh my God!
It was supposed to be like aggressive. It's like the seniors are taking over. It was like when we became the seniors.
Yeah, watch out.
And we're like, yeah, we're gonna get everyone, and they were not happy with that.
They're like, yeah, we get it, but no.
Yeah, we had to take off the shirts. It was a whole thing. That's it. No, I don't think I got in trouble too much.
Let's go back. We may glossed over middle school here. So elementary school, you only got in trouble maybe if you drew some women. That's fine. Yeah. Everybody's done that. Middle school comes up. You know, the hormones are running rampant. This can be a very interesting time as a young man's life.
Yeah.
All right. What was your relationship like with your brother and sister in middle school?
With my sister, it was great. I remember she's 7 years younger than me, so she's kind of like my little pal.
Okay.
Like we'd go, my family would take us on trips, or grandma would take us on like a cruise. It was like a huge thing. We had my cousins, and I have all these photos of me carrying around my sister on my shoulders. You know,
that's cool.
It was really great. Yeah. And then with my brother, I was just always fighting with him. We were just...
How old's he?
He's 3 years younger.
Okay.
So we'd just be fighting, you know, causing trouble. Like, you know, it's hard because I was the older brother.
Right.
You know, and
I to be a leader. And,
it was just us fighting.
You fought. Okay. Yeah. Nothing too serious.
No.
What significant events happened to you in middle school? That were meaningful at the time?
I don't remember.
Did you win any awards? Did you win any?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I won national math competition.
You did?
Yeah, CML. It was called CML. There's 6 problems. Being the guy I told you about, the 18 years into the stuff, me and him were the top, like in Hawaii and in top in the nation.
Cool.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. See, it was like complicated math. It was like these really logic problems, like really hard logic math problems, and I only got one wrong the whole year, and it's because I misread the problem. I was so mad, and he got it perfect, and I got one wrong, because it was like every month you take a test, and it's like the whole year. It was crazy. And football. That's when I started playing. We were playing football before school, at lunch, and after school.
Was that your main sport growing up?
Yeah,
football.
I had a dream about football last night. That was crazy. It's like a big part of my life, although I don't play anymore. I played flag football for many years too.
How many years did you play football?
I played 28 years of football.
Did your parents go to your games?
Yeah, my dad would mainly go to my games. My mom just didn't care about sports.
No.
They would come to the big games. Yeah.
Your parents, in middle school, everything was, what was it like in your household then? Was it chaotic because you had 5 people?
No, it's pretty normal.
Pretty normal.
It's pretty normal. Family
supportive.
Dinner.
Your family was like, "Hey, how'd you do today?"
They were. Yeah, I don't have a classic story of like, it was really supportive. My dad was kind of entrepreneurial. Yeah. I don't remember him like sitting me down and be like, "You're gonna be an entrepreneur." Do that. He was just kind of like did his thing, and no one, it wasn't talked about much. But then later, I realized that he did like influence me. Where now I've always had ideas. I've always been trying to start multiple companies and do all this stuff.
Whose side was the grandpa that built?
Oh, that's my mom's side.
Your mom's side. Your dad was the entrepreneur.
Yes, both my parents have architecture degrees actually. So I was always into. My mom was a teacher. She's a geometry
really
teacher.
Cool, man.
Yeah, and
architecture.
she made up her own class called mechanical drawing. So at the school I went to,
That's sweet.
so it was based on architecture and graphic design and all this cool stuff.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, we even made our own house, like those little model houses where with the little tree and you glue the grass on. And yeah, we did that. We did the floor plan. He made a 2-story house. He did the whole thing.
What's one of your most favorite memories? I'm going to skip elementary. A lot of people don't remember elementary school and like favorite memories. They might remember a couple glimpses of things, but what's one of your most favorite pastimes in the elementary phase or middle school phase, rather? Was it the cruises, or was it just hanging out with your family watching movies?
It was playing. It was my friends. It was like
Your friend.
just playing sports with my friends, hanging out, sleepovers.
Yeah.
Like, we had a crew.
No.
I really, maybe I have a different type of childhood than other people because it was unbelievable. I mean, I grew up in Hawaii.
Yeah.
The school I went to is very good school. Went K through 12.
Yeah.
I went there. So I had the same friends, a lot of them from kindergarten. And we played football together, basketball, whatever, soccer, every day from kindergarten until 12th grade. And we were all in the football team together.
Dude.
It was unbelievable. And we would, we go to everyone's, sleep over at someone's house on the weekends.
Have you seen any of those guys in a while?
Oh, absolutely. These are my best friends ever. I see them all the time. Yeah, I go, oh my God, I go home every Christmas. I go home for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we just hang out like nothing happened.
Man.
Like it's all the same. Same friends. It's amazing.
That's good. Are they all gaining a pound a year?
They actually are. So there's a couple of us, and I don't want to talk bad about them. They're my great friends.
Yeah.
But they're coming to me for help too. Yeah. They know they've gained a pound a year, right?
So it's fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so our mutual friend Draco came to Hawaii this Christmas, and we were on a boat. One of my friends had a boat party, and so 2 of my friends stayed on the plan with me. About 10 years ago, we together found this way of eating, cutting out processed foods, cutting out the sugar, flour, oil. I would say the sugar, flour, oil. These are the 3 main things. It's like the seed oil, added sugars, refined grains. We cut those out 10 years ago. So we are 41 and in shape. And so we're on this boat, and Draco's like, who are these other guys? Because they all had the dad bod. Right? So it's like me and the 2 guys looking fit, and then 10 guys with a dad bod. Right? So yeah, that's he's like, these guys look like they're way older than you. They're not. Yeah.
Dang. If you could notice it like that.
Yeah, he couldn't believe that we graduated in the same class.
Oh man. There's your sign, folks.
Yeah.
Sugar.
It's 2 pounds.
Flour.
Oil.
Get rid of them.
It's easy. It's like almost the whole thing. You asked me how to eat. I could have just said that. Then you're done.
Hey.
Game over. Turn off the podcast.
Nice podcast. Nice to meet you. See you later. Let's push on through high school a little bit, just because we're looking at the clock here. What happened to you in high school?
Yeah, I had a great group of friends. I was on the football team. It was the dream.
Did you get a girlfriend in high school?
I did. I had a few girlfriends.
Was that your first girlfriend in high school?
I think it was in 9th grade. I had my first
grade.
girlfriend. I had like a fake girlfriend in 8th grade. You
never saw.
Yeah, it's like we hung out like 3 times. It's like no, not a fake girlfriend in that sense. But I'm like, I didn't know how to have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
it was just like
super scary.
We went on the bus once to like the mall, and then I don't even know what happened after that. No, yeah, it was great. I'm telling you, I don't know if this makes for a good podcast or a bad podcast, but it was
it's good.
Unbelievable. I had a ton of friends. It was the dream.
Let's go back. You got your first girlfriend in high school, like real girlfriend.
Yeah.
You see her lately?
I did see her in L.A. like 15 years later, and we got along great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. How'd your family handle you having girlfriends?
It was all good. They supported me. So my more legitimate high school girlfriend was like, say, the 3rd one, starting in 11th grade, and then she went to UCLA with me. She was 1 year below me, so it was this whole complicated thing. She, broke up, and then she came to UCLA, and so we stayed. So we're still great friends. It's just like this. It shouldn't. There was no ending. It was like this long, slow, weird thing where we.
How long?
Well, no, it wasn't. No, we weren't together or anything, but it was just like we still liked each other in a sense. But we were seeing other people, but it was like this weird thing that lasted like too long. We were just too good of friends for too long.
Is she married today?
No, but it seems like she's settling down with someone. Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. I know you told me you were single.
Oh man, I have my sights on some different people these days. Yeah.
People plural?
Oh, well, I'm looking for a woman in Austin that is healthy and fit and has a lot going for her. Is into the same things that I'm into. I have some criteria.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good. Did you win any awards in sports or math or music or anything?
I think I have the freshman pole vault record for Hawaii.
You got the pole vault record.
The freshman pole
You didn't tell us you were in track, dude.
I also was in track. I went to state championships as a freshman. In 7th and 8th grade, I was doing all the different events, sprinting and jumping and this and that.
Yeah.
But I was never like super good at one thing. And they're like, hey, why don't you pole vault? And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to try it.
Yeah. And you set the record.
And then 9th grade, I went like 13 feet. In Hawaii, there's not a lot of pole vaulters, or it's not like amazing.
Yeah.
That's not, if people on the mainland, they're like, oh, that's not very good. I'm like, well, in Hawaii, that's very good.
Did you surf?
Not as much as I'd wanted to, because I was always playing football. Is like 6 months out of the year. It's just nothing else.
Okay.
All summer, you're at camp. Yeah, we had 4 days even. At some point, we had 4 practices a day. We slept over in the gym. It was crazy. Yeah.
Oh.
That was in 11th and 12th grade.
So you're an athlete.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I still play sports. I play beach volleyball twice a week. I play every weekend. Zilker Park. I'm there 7:30 in the morning.
What about math? You still do math?
I mean, I do technical stuff, I guess, still.
Yeah.
I'm doing in my different businesses or trying to figure out this health stuff. I end up doing math. Yeah.
So let's paint a picture here. You wake up and it's high school era. The typical day at the office. You're going to school, right? Did you have a vision of who you wanted to be as your future self in high school, or were you kind of really locked into the present at that time?
No, I was always good at math and science. My mom was a math teacher. So I was in her geometry honors class. I was in her mechanical drawing class.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to have parents that were good on the artistic side. My dad is an amazing artist, actually. He did a lot of marketing work and advertising work and like actually the art work of that.
It's awesome.
And he went to art school, Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. He was in a class of 20. It was like very exclusive. Art Center is a pretty famous art school. And so I had the math side, science side, and the artistic side. And I had this idea that I was going to design amusement parks or like be part of the entertainment industry in some way.
Yeah.
And so then I thought, okay, I'll be a mechanical engineer. I didn't even know what it really was. But I got into UCLA and I got into mechanical engineering. Then I realized it was terrible. What was
terrible about it?
You're just with a bunch of nerds doing 12 variable equations with 12 variables. Like imagine, usually there's like 2 variables, X and Y, and you got to solve for 2 of them. I was solving for like 12 of them. It didn't even make sense. I don't even know what they were. I took like calculus 7.
It doesn't sound too much fun.
Yeah. Calculus 7 is what I got up to. The 7th. Yeah. So I realized it was very technical and wasn't very interesting. But then this is so crazy. My first job was designing amusement park rides. Like it came out of nowhere. Like it didn't even make sense. I just graduated. I didn't even get good grades because I didn't care about it. I went to Europe for 7 weeks with my 2 friends from high school, my 2 best pals. We wandered around Europe for 7 weeks. And I come home and I apply for a few jobs. And it's just like, hey, we build stuff for Universal Studios and Disney. Come work for us.
You're kidding.
It was amazing.
Did you have your hands in Batman?
Not Batman. I did a little bit on the Harry Potter ride, the Toy Story ride. I had my own attraction at Universal Studios Singapore.
What are you talking about? What was it called? Was it called the Brian?
No.
The Brianator?
It was called Lights, Camera, Action. I just looked it up on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, look up Lights, Camera, Action, Singapore.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those attractions. It wasn't like a ride, but if you've been to Universal Studios, there's the backdraft. Have you been, the backdraft? It's like...
Oh, no, I don't know.
Oh, okay. But you just sit there and like all these explosions. It's an old movie, right, from the 80s.
I remember that.
Yeah. Explodes. So it's like a movie set, so that you go and you stand there and there's like explosions going off, and then they do this whole sequence for 3 minutes, and then it resets, and everything goes back, and it's like you're on a movie set.
Yeah.
So they did one in Singapore that was a bit different. It was based on that, and for some reason, after 1 year of working, I was 22. They let me be the lead project engineer on the whole attraction, but then the recession happened, so I think the company went out of business in 2008.
Yeah,
it was 2008, right? The recession.
This one hit.
And this company they were too leveraged with this one Universal Studios. So like you never want to have your entire business based on one company, right?
It shut you out. And
so exactly what happened. They shut down the whole construction on the project, and then the company went out of business. And so it was kind of a dream, but also kind of terrible, because I was just sitting there like just in a corner doing 3D models and engineering all day, and I got overuse injuries on my arms and huge problems. Just all, like kind of like carpal tunnel, but like all over I still have problems to this day. So I actually had to quit the engineering world in 2010.
Dude,
it was so bad. I had a cast on. It was so bad. I was getting cortisone shots to try to be able to still work. There was so much inflammation from just sitting there working, and probably eating my bad diet. I was just eating grains. I'm just against grains. I think for a lot of people, even if you're not celiac, I think grains cause low-grade inflammation that you don't even realize. Because I stopped eating grains, and that's partly why I think all my inflammation went away, and I could start using my hands again. Like I didn't use a mouse for years. I still don't use a mouse.
What do you use?
Oh, just a trackpad. Yeah. I just can't. Like holding a mouse is traumatic for me. I really ruined my wrists and forearms from overuse.
So if somebody got you a mouse for Christmas, you'd probably start sweating.
I would swing it and hit them in the head with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. So you did that for a little while. What happened next?
Then I had to start from scratch because I couldn't do my engineering computer work anymore. So I taught myself how to design apps and websites, not program. I still know how to program, but I could do everything else.
Yeah.
So I just sat down for a year and I learned to design, graphic design, UI, UX, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then I got a job in the tech world, and I just restarted in Santa Monica tech scene and did,
How good was that?
It was great. Yeah, made some money.
How far was your apartment from the beach?
I've always lived within a mile of the beach.
Come on.
Yeah. UCLA was the farthest I've been from the beach, because that's actually, I think, about 2 miles from the beach.
Okay.
But I moved closer. Marina Del Rey, Venice, like right there.
Less than a mile.
Yeah.
It's freaking amazing.
You can walk.
Do you miss that lifestyle?
Well, I have beach volleyball now. That's all I need. Right. I get by with beach volleyball.
Okay.
Yeah. And I go home to Hawaii.
Yeah. For 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like, I think the most interesting part of my story. I don't have a lot of huge adversity other than just having to restart my career, and I had to restart it a third time. So after that tech stuff, I parted ways with this company. I didn't know what I was going to do, and then I got into the health. I got into the health stuff. I saw with the first vegan film before Game Changers. People might know of What the Health. It wasn't the first.
Yeah.
One of the first big ones was Cowspiracy. Okay, so Cowspiracy is made this guy Kip Anderson. He's like an animal rights advocate, activist. Then he made What the Health, and this was 7 years ago.
Down with something. Yeah.
What the Health, it came out probably 8 years ago, and I saw it. I finally forced myself to watch it 7 years ago, summer of 7 years ago, and that changed my life. That's when I was getting back into film. I grew up doing videos.
Yeah.
I grew up with that guy, one of the guys that got fit with me. He's now the director, editor of Food Lies. He has his own production company. He's a very good producer of content. He went to film school, did the whole day. I grew up with him. 7th grade, we were making videos together. I was always taking those classes. So full circle, 7 years ago, I started getting back into film stuff. My sister's doing improv. I'm part of this improv comedy group for some reason. And I watch What the Health. I see this bogus vegan film, and I decide I'm going to make a documentary.
Yeah.
So I just decided 7 years ago in the summer, that I was going to just quit all the tech stuff and make this food documentary with no plan. And what's great about today, these days, even better now, is that you can just make a website. You know, you can go on Squarespace or Wix or whatever, make your own website, and all of a sudden you will have a project. You can legitimize, you can make whatever you want.
Right.
You can manifest, as they say, you know, like I'm not that into that like woo-woo type stuff, but you can manifest anything you want. Like I just said, I made a website that detailed the whole Food Lies series.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was the guy making the Food Lies series. And I just contacted Sean Baker 7 years ago. I just showed him the website. I'm like, hey, do you want to be in this? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be going on Joe Rogan's podcast in a few months. This was in 2017, December. He went on Joe Rogan December 7th, 2017.
Yeah.
He kind of introduced carnivore to the world. No one knew what it was really until he went on Joe Rogan's podcast December 2017. And I shot the first interview for Food Lies the day before that because he was in LA. So
That's
and then
alignment.
It was, yeah. And then I just contacted all these doctors I knew. There's another guy, Dr. Ted Naiman, and then he let me. Then I started talking to Nina Teicholz and then Mark Sisson and all these people. And all I did was make a website. And then all of a sudden I was a filmmaker. For better or for worse, I don't know if this sounds like stupid or not, but like you could do that.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can do that. I just made the site and then I just point people at it. And then it's been a lot of work since then. Started a podcast, started my Instagram, started going to conferences, then 7 years later, you're finally moving.
7
years.
Yeah. 7 years. That's good. It's good for people to know that.
7 years full-time, starting from a website. So 7 years ago, I was a random dude with 0 followers, 0 actual nutrition experience.
Right.
No degree in nutrition or health, and I had a website. And now I'm still just a random dude with a website. No, at least I'm doing a lot. I have 375,000 followers on Instagram now on food.lies. If people want to follow along, I've got the podcast Peak Human. It's great film in the works. We have episode 1 done. We're talking to big people, have big people behind it.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan follows me. He knows about it. Like there's a lot of big momentum right now.
Yeah.
Getting this project out. We got some funding 3 weeks ago to finish it. Got some big funding so we can actually finish this correctly. And yeah.
That's big time. That's fired up, Brian. Real fired up. Now, let me ask you this, because Food Lies is one leg of your life. Okay? Your family is another leg. You go see them, have a great time. For the last couple minutes here, we got to talk about the Sapien Center.
Oh, yeah.
Because, man, that's kind of like, that's your home base.
Yeah. That's another part. Yes. So I got the Food Lies project. Along the way, I started Nose to Tail, too. Right? So I was like, I didn't want to take on advertisers. Yeah, meat.
Yeah.
Biltong.
Dude, I went on Amazon to try to get that.
We don't have it on Amazon.
Where can you get it?
At the Sapien Center.
I literally Googled it on Amazon to try to find your
on
brand.
the Sapien Center.
On the Sapien Center website.
Yeah. Or no, on nosetotale.org or come to the Sapien Center. And so the side story is I instead of taking advertisers for my podcast or otherwise, I started my own company and we do regenerative agriculture. We do the best raised meat. We stopped selling meat, but we still have dried meat. We have the biltong. South Africa. Shout out South Africans. Shout out Kaylee. We have biltong and dried meat, and then we also have body care products made from beef tallow. Nice. So that's just a more natural thing. Really good skin product, right? Very good skin product. And so, yeah, part of my journey is starting businesses, and the third business is Sapien Center, which is an in-person business. So I wanted to have something where we could hang out in real life, especially during COVID, right? 4 years ago, I was in LA. I was shut down. Everything was closed. I couldn't even go to my pool. I was living in this apartment complex. They wouldn't let me go lie down on a pool chair by myself and get some sun. All I wanted was some vitamin D. They locked the gate, and I would hop the gate, and the apartment people kicked me out. They're like, "You're gonna get kicked out of this building if you keep jumping the fence." So I had to go I had to walk out to the median and lie in grass like on the side of a road to get my son.
Crazy.
But so I wanted to build something in real life where we could get together.
Yeah.
And Sapien Center is that. It's in Austin. It's a social club, event center. And yeah, it's so fun. It's just a play. We have co-working during the day.
People are working out.
It's an indoor-outdoor space. So yeah, you could be working, and then I'm going to go do some pull-ups and lie in the sun. Right there. You open the door, you're there. We got 2 cold plunges. We got a sauna. We got a fire pit. We got some grilling.
And
deck.
You and Draco, correct me if I'm wrong, are the co-owners.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you meet this man?
Oh, that was 3.5 years ago in Africa. We met in Tanzania. I had no idea who he was. I just knew Mary because she planned the trip and she's brought him along. And we just hung out for 3 weeks in Africa. Yeah. And then he just kind of joined my businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So you two are the dynamic duo, the masterminds behind the Sapien Center.
Yeah.
Okay. What excites you the most about that operation you've got there?
Well, it kind of ties into everything. It ties everything together.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, so Sapien is my idea of how humans should live. We call it, my podcast is called Peak Human. So we say peak human health and thriving is what we're after, right? Sapien. So Sapien is kind of the way of eating that I believe in. It's not paleo, it's not keto, it's not carnivore. It's Sapien. It's just like we were talking about the whole first episode. We're around forever eating real foods and animal foods, and it goes beyond more than diet, right? It's like it's going out and getting some sun. It's doing the exercise, playing sports, community, having a sense of purpose. So Sapien Center is the hub for that, and it brings in all these things together. It's like, why do people live a long time? They have the blue zones concept, which I think is a bit bogus because they take a plant-based slant to it. And actually, Mary, who set up my trip, went around to most of the blue zones, and they are not plant-based. They, like Ikaria is one in Greece. They're eating goats and sheep nose to tail. They're eating the organs. They're eating every part of it. They're using the fat. They save the fat. They use it for cooking. They are not plant-based. But generally, the blue zones concept is good because what do? They eat real food, right? It's all of the blue zones are eating way whole foods. They're not eating processed foods. They are moving, right? These old ladies in Okinawa, they're like climbing stairs and gardening and carrying sacks of whatever. They're out in nature. They're getting sun. They have a sense of community, purpose. And
that's a big one.
Huge one. That's what all the blue zones have. And I sleep. Sleep's just a pillar for me too. It's like, assumably, they're sleeping, right? They're not stressed out, 4 hours like grinding away. They're sleeping. So this concept, this is kind of the Sapien concept, is you do all of those things and you will thrive. This is how humans have always lived, and you can still live in a normal society, right? So Sapien Center is a mile from downtown, but we're living differently than normal people in Austin. Well, a lot of people in Austin are pretty healthy, but we can live in a normal city and pretty close to the city. We're not out, getting some compound in the middle of the nowhere and trying to like catch rainwater.
Right.
We're doing our thing in the city, but we can live completely differently while still being in society.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about finding lateral options. Like, for example, the newspaper, right? People still read the newspaper. It's not dead, right? Just like we still, it's important to incorporate a little bit of everything.
You can do that. Yeah. You can live in the city, but instead of going to the grocery store and just piling a cart full of processed foods, you can go to the farmer's market. It's downtown. There's one in Mueller.
There's a bunch. They're
everywhere. There's one Bee Cave. There's one all over. And, I get my own meat from my nose to tail. We sell some leftover meat, right? Like this is where I get my food. I get the eggs. I won't eat any eggs unless they're from the farmer's market, the good, pasture raised, like orange yolks, the good eggs.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry thinking about that.
Gotta get some of those.
I grew up with chickens.
Hell yeah.
I actually grew up on a farm.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. Yeah. Fun fact. So what's something, let's say your great grandkids are watching this, what's the message you would want them to hear from you?
Wow. I'd say live like a sapien.
Live like a sapien.
You know, like it's just these general principles that can guide your life. And we noticed that a lot of sapien people are artistic too, right? They have other talents. If you're healthy, if you aren't, you know, in and out of the doctor and all that stuff, and if you're feeling good, you can do so much more. You can start businesses, you have time, you have free thinking mind, you have your health on your side, you can do art, you do sports, do all this stuff. So yeah, I guess the ultimate thing is you want to live your optimum life. You need to live like a sapien and just question the big sources of info, the big powers that be. Right? I always question everything now.
Question everything.
Question it, right? It's like, why is this? Why are we told to eat 7 to 11 servings of grains?
Yeah, why?
What's that about?
Really think about it.
Maybe you just had a bunch of grains lying around, buddy. You trying to get rid of your old grains to me?
Sounds about right. Yeah. Brian, how do people get a hold of you? I know you said it a couple times scattered throughout. One last time.
Yeah. Food.lies. That's the thing on Instagram. Food.lies.
Yeah. That's
my main spot, and you can find everything from there.
And is there anybody that you want to have a conversation with that's alive today that you have not had a conversation with yet?
Joe.
My
guy Joe Rogan.
Hey, Joe.
Okay. We're trying to get him to the Sapien Center. There's a event coming soon that people are having. He might come to. But yeah, no, I love it because he's questioning everything. He changes his mind. He became the biggest podcaster in the world. And I really want to just finish Food Lies and have him see it and go talk to him.
I have his address on a spreadsheet because it's my goal to get him on the show.
Oh yeah.
And I've got a list of local celebrities, to Austin, and I've got all their addresses.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy to pass that along to you so you can write him a letter and get him at your event.
Oh, interesting. Well, someone else is inviting him already.
Okay.
So
this one to double up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna happen.
Okay, good. Dude, that'd be fired up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Talk about some social media cred right there.
Yeah.
That's hot sauce.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks so much for coming on. You definitely are an elite mindset, an elite leader here in Austin. Thanks for all your work. And make sure to check out Brian on Instagram. Hit him up. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Hey, you got it. Till next time, everybody.
Yeah.
Cheers.